When you start a journey in the wild tech jungle, you might be tempted to live your own adventure. As a student myself, looking to get freelance missions in embedded system, I chose, like many others, freelancing to get myself a bit of money and free XP. I wasn't sure what to expect. I imagined a great, independent lifestyle with high-paying contracts everywhere, but what is it in reality? Would I even find clients as a junior, or would it even be worth the effort? Using my humble first experiences, I want to share what actually happened for me, how did I get my first mission, how I built my first professional relationship, and how much money can one expect to make in tech, with my personal field being FPGA and AI stuff. So, without further ado, let's start with the most brutal part of the freelancing journey, the first missions. To be completely honest, I already tried freelancing before. I spent actual hours filling out useless forms, and the result, 5 profile views, 1 message, and a guy offering me some Excel work for $10 and high five, I guess. Naturally, I said yes. And then he ghosted me. No project, no $10 and no high five, just a deep, existential silence. That was very degrading in a way, and we'll get to it in a minute, but for now, you need to stand out, which is easier said than done, of course, when you're one of 10,000 juniors. It's the same dude across different ads. There's like a mismatch, you know? The reason why is when you sign into a freelancing platform to fill out endless forms lying about how great you are at lead code or whatever, your profile gets lost in a sea of dudes just like you with 0 review, 0 social proof, and 0 skills. To stand out in this chaos, what I did was I took a moment to, just take a step back and understand myself. Now, I know this may sound very silly, but it's kind of true. Think about it. When you spawn on a platform with empty profile and some claims about non-proven React skills that everyone has, you look as hireable as an illiterate meth head to potential clients. You can make all of the claims in the world. If you do not look like an expert, backed with some sort of proof, you will not even be considered. Making meaningless claims was my specialty. I was this guy who learned how to write hello world in Python and all of a sudden was a Python expert. This is so wrong in many ways. Number 1, the languages are not a skill but a tool to achieve a bigger picture. And number 2, the potential client did not see me as a guy who can and will get the job done. The point I'm trying to make here is simple. You use a portfolio of complex projects involving specific skills, provide real-world proofs of your expertise. Call me now! In a nutshell, just make yourself as employable as possible and don't just use JavaScript developer as your title. Go for more specific things like embedded systems, control loops expert, or even finance and accounting software engineer. If you don't feel like you have any specific complex skill yet, it's okay. I did not have any not that long ago. You can challenge yourself with original projects that are not based around building yet another web app. My very own first mission had absolutely nothing to do with my specific skill. It was some casual Python scripting when in reality I was looking for FPGA missions. But because I used some complex papers as proof to back up my expertise, the client had trust in my ability to get the job done. Now, don't get me wrong, this first mission was not a high-ticket one. In fact, it was a pretty low ticket. But the idea was to get some social proof and professional experience, which may sound like coping, but trust me, you need to do at least one to get started. Once I had a professional-looking profile that showcased my skills, I was able to start exchanging with a few potential clients, and so will you. But don't get your hopes up just yet, because you need to build a first professional relationship. Tech people have projects. Tech people go on freelance websites to get people to do the project. Thousands of dudes not speaking English use LLM generated text to speak with tech people. The point I'm trying to make here is that we are human beings. Stay professional but sound human. If you speak like ChatGPT, you are just going to discuss your client. So my tip here is to make handwritten messages and only use LLM to review your typos in order to not look like a total illiterate. Social proof is also the #1 business driver, so if you do not consider your first client well, you're screwed. So now for the moment of truth, how much did I make? The first client for the first Python scripting mission gave me around $40 for around 10 hours of my time. You know, when I told you it was a low ticket, I was not kidding you. And the second client gave me 2 missions, and for the first one I received $800 approximately for more than 50 hours of work. And the third mission, which was still with the second client, was paid $650 for around 35 hours of my work. So yeah, this first experiment did not make me a millionaire. In fact, if we look at it in terms of money, it was not that interesting. But you know, in life, not everything is about money. For juniors that are looking for a job, freelancing is definitely not the best choice. Unless your network gets you a high-paying mission out of the blue, starting from scratch and making a living will be extra hard for you, but not impossible. And would I recommend freelancing for students? Well, I learned so much along the way because my last 2 missions involved very specific skills that required learning, and as a student, this is great. I would recommend such an experience 100%. It definitely helped me build a great resume, make some money on the side, and get some professional experience. And maybe after your studies, you can continue freelancing with higher paying missions.
Sacre Hubert, you are so French.
Now, if you would like me to continue this experiment so I can give you more tips and tell you how it goes, I can definitely continue, so let me know in the comments if you want me to do that.